Welcome to Digital Marketing Update. John Verlin here with On Demand Advertising Solutions. Got a great bit of information today from Entrepreneur Magazine, post by Derek Miller about 8 digital marketing tips for boosting a startup. And a lot of people who are starting new businesses, micro businesses, 1 or 2, mom and pop type businesses, let's face it, we're on a shoestring. He's got some good points here I'd like to elaborate on about using inexpensive ways to get your brand out, to get your name out there. I've got several clients don't even have websites. They have a Facebook business page, but we start with a blog, link to that, and we build it out, and that's what I call the marketing platform. But he basically talks about in utilizing social media. It's a great way to get your brand out there in front of people on a consistent basis. He talks about frequency, consistency. That goes back to my radio days where we would tell advertisers many times, you don't need 30 ads a week, do 10, but do it every other week, but do it all year long. And keep consistency, because that will build over and over and over that repetition, and that will build. However you want to do that, just be consistent with it and be frequent. It's perception, and that perception forms that reality. And keep in mind, it's your customer you're focused on, not you. A lot of brands use social media just to promote themselves. My personal Twitter account that I use with my business, I actually just started because I knew I'd probably be starting On Demand Advertising Solutions here in a couple months ago. I went ahead and just started putting out, content off the web for small business owners. Had nothing. I didn't even have my website ready, but just started building that engine, so to speak, of Twitter and building a following, and more than doubled it in about a month or so. And by the time I launched the website and started actually putting content on my blog, the podcast, the cartoon videos, things like that, then I had people who were engaging because they were aware of me over time. And so focus on the customer and their content, what their interests are, and gradually build in your brand. It's a gradual thing. Otherwise, you'll turn them off. Engage with them. I'm talking even if they give you a negative comment or something, talk to them. There's a reason they're doing it. Unless, and this has happened, somebody posts a comment on, say, your Facebook page or your business page, and you respond and they come back with something even more bland or mean or whatever. I found that if you check out their Facebook page, find out who they are, if they don't have it filled out, like I've seen some people's, they're just fraudulent, basically. They're just harassing you or a competitor. But in the minimum, get back with them and tell them, please call this number. We'll be glad to talk with you. If they don't follow up on that, or if you have a chat option, they don't follow up on that, they could be fraudulent, just trying to get FaceTime on your Facebook page. But do engage with them. And when you do start testing, I test Facebook business platform. It's frustrating, I know. All of this is, but once you have your platform built, your marketing platform, you've got something there with content and image that you can have grow organically. And when you do investments, whatever it is, start out with baby steps and test. Don't just unload. Do these little baby steps and gradually test different ads, different methods. Try a cartoon video. Experiment that with a still image of some sort, linked to your website. But once you test it and do it in baby steps, gradually keep it consistent. When you find something that pulls the numbers well, and we now have those platforms. Didn't used to have those, but we do have them now. I think on Facebook they call it pay to play or whatever, but at any rate, do it in baby steps. And then with LinkedIn, they have, I believe, premium services. Twitter, you can, Twitter does a good amount of organic content, but you can test on Twitter too. But speaking of content, that's still the main thing. I know you hear about content is king, and that's been around for a long time. But that's one reason I started doing podcasting for my clients and cartoon videos, because I told them that most people write long, boring pieces of content and they cut and paste other people's content, which actually can get negatively scored by Google at some point if you do enough of it. I like doing podcasts like this, transcribing them afterwards, and giving your take on different things in the news, or in this case, on the web for small business. And I like doing that, and that's why I like doing it for my clients, because I get to interview them, and we have fun doing this. But then we transcribe it, and there's our content, and it's unique. It's our version. We put our own take on it, our own spin. Nothing's new under the sun. Ideas are all there. It's just how we use them. And create content. Think about your message. You're not just throwing stuff out there. Think about, how is this going to really help? I thought about this content. How is this going to help people, particularly on a shoestring, who are a startup? And you may take away one or two things from this podcast, but suddenly it's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. That's interesting. And then you can find cheap creative content. There's sites like Elance, Elance, Craigslist, or Fiverr. He talks about, Derek does on Fiverr, you can do animated explainer videos. Well, that's pretty much the cartoon videos I'm talking about. I love them because they're short, sweet, simple to create. And when I say simple, there's a learning curve. You got to kind of get the hang of it, and then you test them, but people can get what you're all about in 30 to 40 seconds or so, and they're very effective, I think, and I like that. And then finally, he talks about optimizing internal pages for conversions, using free plugins to capture emails. You can use free tools like Google Analytics to monitor visitor paths, referrals to your site, optimizing forms on your site. I use a 3-part strategy page I lead people to from my social media. I want you to learn about my 3-part strategy because I have a form at the bottom of that page for you to also sign up for a newsletter. But I also have, of course, my email and phone number to get in touch with me. So that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. And the final thing, Derek sums up everything with, do outreach yourself. Once you get this content produced, start promoting it. It's all about self-promotion through the social media or any channel you want. You really got to take this thing by the horns and be consistent with it, be frequent with it, and provide good content creatively. Easier said than done. If I can help you, have any questions, jverlin1, jverlin1 @yahoo.com is my email. You can also go to our website, ondemandadvertisingsolutions.com. We'll look forward to talking to you soon with some more content marketing ideas.